everyone, and welcome to the Monday Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy Holistic Transformation Podcast. Today, you will get me, Dr. Beverly, and I will talk about understanding the self. And it is a subset or part of my Om for Success program that I teach. What we'll cover today is what is Om, what are the 5 elements, some of their archetype characteristics, 5 categories of meditation, understanding the 5 elements, which meditation helps each element, and finally, know yourself first. So what is Om? Om is the seed of the universe. If you think of all the vowels, A, E, I, O, U, at least in Western languages, that is basically Om. And that is the sound that created the universe. So if you read the Bible or a lot of ancient teachings, sound came first and then came light. So it is the seed that created the universe. According to the Vedas, the universe originates from an ultimate divine consciousness of which we are all a part. What are the 5 elements? Fire, earth, air, water, aether. That is controversial with some people, because in Western culture, scientists a couple hundred years ago decided that aether didn't exist. Physicists today have discovered it does exist, and it matches up with some of the other traditions, which I will go over on the next slide, as well as how do they affect us, and knowing which one you are. And of course, you're all 5. You're made up of all the elements, but you have one that's predominant, and then you have a secondary and a tertiary and so forth. And understanding the needs of those elements and the strengths of those elements can help you to be healthy and advance spiritually. So the archetypes of each character are: fire is the magician, salesperson, entrepreneur, wizard, shaman. Earth is the savior, negotiator, mediator, peacemaker, diplomat. And I would say earth is also the most grounded of all of the elements. Air, or metal in TCM, is called metal, but it's air because it's the lungs. That's the alchemist, the modifier, the experimenter, the creator, the converter. And water is the philosopher, truth seeker, thinker, intellectual, academic. Water is also a powerful healer. Sorry about that, I had a little pop-up. Okay, and finally, aether, which is sometimes described as spirit or space. And in traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, it's wood, the wood element. And this is the adventurer, the pioneer, the founder, the forerunner, the innovator. I was interrupted. I'm not sure if I said water is also a great healer. So the 5 categories of meditation, and these are defined in my book, Meditation Demystified, which is a reference book I wrote under the name Dancing Bear. And there are actually categories, so there's a lot of different meditations within each category. So there's one category of prayer, which includes mandalas, silent prayer, that sort of thing. Then there's soul communication, which is communicating with your spirits, your power animals, so forth. Then there's breath meditation. Some people call this Vipassana, is more advanced breath meditation. There's mantra meditation, which includes chanting. So this is out loud vocalizing. And then there's the rainbow or diamond body, rainbow body, diamond body. The rainbow body is Tibetan, the diamond body is Taoist. And in Christianity, we call this ascension. And what is the best element for each of these styles of meditation, and when do you want to use them? So the first list, the first column is the name of the elements. Then I separated out the TCM names, fire, and there's channels in the body that represent those elements. And those are the channels that we treat when you have an issue with that element. So the fire is the heart, small intestine, pericardium, which is called the heart protector. It's the membrane around the heart. And the sanjiao, also known as the triple warmer. So that's our internal energy in our upper chest, middle area, and lower abdomen. The earth element in TCM is the spleen, stomach. And the metal element or air is the lungs, large intestine. The water element is the kidneys, urinary bladder, and wood, which is also aether, is the liver, gallbladder. One of the things about the liver, it's the only organ in TCM where the energy, the chi, goes out in all directions. All of the other elements have energy going in a specific direction. For example, the spleen up bears and the stomach goes down. In Ayurvedic medicine, we know of the Pitta, Kapha, Vata, but they're actually assigned to the 5 elements. So Pitta is fire and water, Kapha is earth and water, and Vata is air and aether. So in metaphysics, which matches astrology, you have the same 5 elements, and you're all familiar with the astrology. Well, I'm assuming you're familiar with the astrology signs. So the fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Earth is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Air is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And water is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Aether was actually hidden from us. And it's very controversial. Depends on who you talk to. Some say, oh, it doesn't exist. Others say it does. It does exist. If you listen to Laura Eisenhower on YouTube, she has lots of information on Ophiuchus. And there are a few astrologers. If you do a Google search on Ophiuchus and you put a minus sign NASA, then you'll actually get to some real searches. If you don't, you'll just get to all the NASA saying, no, it doesn't exist, but you'll actually get to astrologers with images and graphics showing Ophiuchus and where it is. And that is the aether in astrology. And then human design, believe it or not, has 5 types and they match the 5 elements. So manifestors are the fire element. Generators and manifesting generators are earth. Manifesting generators are also air because they have to manifest, you have to be a little bit destructive and then you rebuild. That's how you create new. You have to break down the old. So manifestors use fire, lots of energy to really break things down. Manifesting generators are a little bit gentler, which is the air element. Reflectors are the water element. Water has to have a container. It does not have its own form. And that's like a reflector. I think there's something like 1% or a little more of the population. There's not very many of them. And they have no energy of their own. They have to have other people to give them that structure. And then you have, last but not least, the projectors, which are the aether/wood element. And they have an energy that goes out in all directions, waiting to be recognized. But they do at least have at least one area, like a splenic projector or an emotional projector. They have at least one shape filled in. I call them circles, but some are triangles and some are squares. So in this chart, I put together which meditation works best for each element. And it's not necessarily which element are you, but which element is out of sorts as to which one is the best one to use, or in general. So the fire element, these people are going to have trouble sitting still. They're the ones that say, well, I just can't sit there for a half an hour. Well, then don't sit there. Do a moving meditation. And if you are not a fire element, but you come to a point where you just can't still, you've got ants in your pants, so to speak, then do a moving meditation. All of the elements can do soul communication. Breath meditation is very good for air and metal. And water, of course, is Om, which symbolizes water. And then Aether would be the rainbow body, diamond body, because the job and purpose of a projector is to help lead us into the Aquarian age. That is why they're here right now. I think they're like 20% of the population, 10% of them are emotional projectors. And their purpose is to help us and guide us. Not necessarily lead us, but to guide the leaders. And that's why we're here. And obviously I'm a projector. And the earth element primary type of meditation is soul communication, because they are the most grounded. And the more grounded you are, the easier it is to communicate with power animals and spirit helpers and whatever you want to call them. So why is this important? Who cares? Well, who are you? Do you know who you are? Do you know your role in the world? Do you have a role? Do you know your soul purpose? Some people don't even know they have a soul purpose. Some people say, oh, I know my soul purpose. Well, guess what? You have more than one. Do you know what all of them are? And are you accomplishing it? Because once you leave, you're going to sit back and evaluate your life. I've had 5 near-death experiences. You do evaluate your life, and if you don't accomplish everything, you're going to go, I'm going to have to go back and redo that. So knowing what all of them are and working on it helps a lot. It also makes your life easier because you get a lot of guidance when you're on your path. So what is your job in life? And job does not mean your occupation or what you do for a living. But what is it you are supposed to do or accomplish for humanity? This will be your legacy. If you've thought about your legacy, hopefully you have. So this information is part of my for Success program. Boost your intuition and overcome obstacles to success based on the 5 elements. And the next program will start October 8th. It's a Saturday. I'm going to do it all in one day. Usually I spread it out over several weeks, but because I want to do number 3, my Master Intuitive Healer Mystic Intro to Holistic Medical Intuition right after the summit, I decided to do this because I just taught this class and the people in the class had not had Om for Success. And in Om for Success, I help you find your primary element and which works for you, and introduces in a much deeper level the different elements. And so when you get into number 3, that is, you're looking now at your secondary and tertiary elements and how to heal them and tools to use. And if you haven't had Om for Success, it's difficult. So I'm going to reteach it again and do it all in one day so I have time to get number 3 in. But the big thing is number 2, Holistic Transformation Summit. I do this twice a year, and that'll be September 27th through the 29th, and it is free. And I have lots of guest speakers who come on and talk about holistic transformation. And it can be in the area of spiritual development, mental development, emotional development, and physical issues, physical healing, so forth. And then I have a 1-year Master Intuitive program. And then over the next few weeks, what I'm going to do is go through each of these elements at a high level. So in case you can't take my class, you can just watch the podcasts over the next few weeks, and I'll do them in order. I'll do fire, then earth, then air, then water, then aether. So you can get more information and understanding on those elements. So these links will be posted down below. But if you want to know more about Om for Success, the link is there, so you can screenshot this slide if you like. All my classes are on the summit's on Holistic Transformation Summit. All of my classes are on Dancing Bear HolisticTransformation.com. And down at the bottom here is dancingbeargift.com. And so if you enter that domain name, I'm losing my voice, sorry. dancingbeargift.com, you will get an ebook which goes into how to use those meditations for overcoming various obstacles in life. It's free, and I encourage you to share it. And it's a special kind of ebook called a track-a-book. So I have an app at the Dancing Bear ENlightenment Academy.com. There's a link to go to the app, which is on Apple and Android phones. And in the app, the book will give you a code. And if you enter that code, you'll be able to communicate with other people who have read the book. So you can ask comments, post your comments, ask questions, and share that with your friends that you've shared the book with, who also go into the app. If they don't go into the app, of course, you can't share it, but it's free to give out to anyone. Again, the Own for Success workshop will be October the 8th. It's a Saturday from 11 to 4 Pacific time. And the summit is in September 27th through the 29th. And that starts usually from 11 to 4, 11 to 5, depending on how many speakers I have for that day and how long they talk for. Most talks are 20, 30 minutes. Sometimes they're 45 minutes to an hour, but most of them are about a half hour. So if you know any speakers you would like to see on that summit, please let me know. I would be happy to talk to them and see if they're a good fit. I'm Dr. Beverly, and thank you for joining us today.